Welcome to Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel. Chris Lee, joined by Jay Greeson. And is that snoring Bo Jackson we have here?
Bo Jackson's snoring in the other room. I can shut the door if he's snoring too loud.
It's all good. Yeah, someone's snoring. It's not me, and it's not you, and hopefully it's not our audience. We're here to give our reaction to the evening portion of the SEC slate. We'll talk about Georgia, which is about to finish off, Texas here in a couple minutes, Missouri, about 11 and a half minutes left in the fourth quarter, but up 42-18 in a fairly commanding performance. And also, Ole Miss and Florida was quite a game, better than any of us thought. We'll rewind all those before we get into any of that. Reminder, of course, we are brought to you by our friends at GameTime SIDEKICKS, which offers officially licensed stainless steel drinkware, all SEC schools, 350 other universities, stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, and shaker cups. SE16 get you 20% off your entire order at GameTimeSidekicks.com. Jay Greeson, we had some interesting games tonight, had some interesting outcomes across the college football landscape. Where would you like to start, sir?
I'll start to this point about all the consternation and the wasted energy. One, I think even before the season, we knew this was going to be, or had the potential to be, an unbelievably special weekend just because of the teams playing the teams. But I want the pundit, myself, yourself, Paul Feinbaum, anybody who wants to throw their visor in the ring, to have the pundit who would have had Gunnar Stockton and Trinidad Chambliss being the two best quarterbacks in this league on November 15th, 2025, go ahead and raise your hand, and I'm going to call you a damn liar.
Which two? Chambliss and who?
Gunnar Stockton.
You mean, yeah, well, today they were both pretty fantastic. Did have some hiccups, I guess, for both of them. But still, hey, the day belonged to probably those two teams. It depends on where you want to go. Oklahoma had a great day. And tonight is the recap show for the night games. We will touch very, very briefly into our team of the day, player of the day selections later, otherwise known as the medal stand. But, yeah, hey, you nailed it on Georgia. The Bulldogs brought it tonight. Love the way they are playing right now. I think we could have a change at the top in our Monday rankings.
If it's going to be power rankings on who's playing the best football right now, yes. If you're going to talk about who has the better resume, there's Texas A&M still has a 0 in the loss column. So, it's an impressive run. And look, we talked about it during the week here on Southeastern 16. Georgia came into this with a lot of question marks, not about talent, but about experience. And now those young dudes have been playing together and are starting to believe in each other. And I've said this multiple times. I don't think this is Kirby Smart's best team he's had in Athens. I think this is Kirby Smart's best coaching job. And if we're going to tip visors and talk about gold medal stands, the onside kick neutered Bevo.
Oh, my goodness. What a call.
Completely took the heart out of any fight Texas was ready to put up. And trick plays are all fine, well, and good. Having the gumption to not only pull them off, but to call them and your team respond. Look, Has Jeff Lebby done an amazing job? Hell yes. Has Mike Elko done an amazing job? Hell yes. Is Clark Lee maybe the best Vanderbilt coach, James Franklin included, that's been on the West End since like the 1930s? I can make that argument. If I had a coach of the year vote, I'm voting Kirby Smart. And look, a lot of people have said this today on a lot of platforms. I've been saying it for 3 weeks. Georgia's ascension is coming, and the comparisons to Ohio State this time last year are very real.
Yeah, I mean, we circled it all year. They're a young team. Get them experience late in the year. They could be pretty dangerous if it's, if the season is not over by that point, which it's not. Georgia's got a lot to play for. Remaining games are going to be at Charlotte. That'll be a walkover. And then Georgia Tech, which I think will be – I know Tech's played well, but goodness, barely got by a 1-9 Boston College team today. Georgia is all but in the playoff at this point. And the onside kick call was a play that the day – I just continue to like what they do in all facets. I felt like Nate Frazier ran better than the line, which is 16 for 72. He just he's got such a burst, and he's so physical. Georgia was doing what it's done. It's hitting a bunch of guys. London Humphreys probably had one of the first bigger plays for them. Yeah, I mean, the Hill interception late in the game, or I guess early in the third quarter, kind of threatened to turn the tide for Texas in its favor a bit. But Georgia made pretty much every play from that point on. I guess I'm trying to remember. Can't remember. Maybe the Hill interception might have preceded the touchdown that Texas got. But after that touchdown, man, it was all Georgia.
And in impressive fashion. Because it's not like they just beat University of Texas San Antonio.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a Texas team that was preseason one, that had everything on the planet to play for, drew the game to 14-10, and had a whole lot of sphincters tightening to the point where Grease BB would have had a tough time getting up some tailpipes in the greater Clark County area, and Georgia just flexed. And look, man, it's an embarrassment of riches when you can go through 6 weeks and not remember that Noah Thomas is going to be a future NFL wide receiver. Because he is a matchup nightmare.
Well, a lot of them are. A lot of them are. Gosh, let's see. Texas. I guess Texas got the ball with a chance here to score a touchdown. 4th and 14 to the Georgia 7. For some reason, I'm not getting that on my TV at the moment.
To make it a 2-score game? I mean,
yeah, right. Well, I mean, and style points might matter. I don't think you want to take 35-10 with 3 losses and try to get in the playoff. But I do wonder. It's too early to say, but to me, like, if Texas had lost this one close, then I think I'd like its chances better as a 3-loss team. But losing this lopsided,
Florida's still in the equation, bro.
Well, and that too. I'm like the stuff is starting to add up there, right? The overtime with Mississippi State, the overtime with Kentucky. I thought a 3-loss Texas could have an argument, and it still might, right? Like, you beat Texas A&M.
0-5 against the number on the road now. Remember that. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's going to come up.
0-5 against the spread. I want to make certain everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Right. I don't know if that's going to come up in the committee room, but
should.
I get what you're saying. I think if you're going to go style points, again, you struggled to beat Kentucky in Mississippi State, and we're probably really lucky in particular to beat Kentucky and Athens. That could have ended it there. but it didn't. My point being, okay, if Texas beats Arkansas and then hands A&M its only loss, because A&M is not losing next week to East Texas State, or East Texas A&M, I think is who it plays, then maybe Texas has got an argument depending on what breaks elsewhere. But you lose this 25 on the road. And with those other games, and frankly, Texas just didn't play well on the road. I mean, I guess its best road performance might have been the opening day loss to Ohio State, but the offense was atrocious for all but the last 5 minutes of the game.
I think Texas is dead Longhorns walking. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
I think with all the other stuff that happened today, you might be right.
You've really got to be looking through some burnt orange colored glasses to try to make an argument, or they're going to need at least one more Saturday with this layer of chaos to get in the mix and say, okay, we're the best of multiple 3-loss teams in the conversation.
By the way, final is 35-10. Texas tonight rushed for 23 yards.
And most of it probably came on the first possession.
Yeah. As for Georgia, again, I for my money, best team in the conference right now. Trying to look at some key stats. Okay, held Texas to 2 of 12 on third downs. That might have been the stat of the night. 274 yards of total offense. Yeah.
And the defense that we've talked about having this many NFL dudes got blitzed in the second half and was the second best defense on the field.
Say that again?
The Texas defense we've been talking about since August about potentially being the most talented defense in the country.
Yeah.
Got blitzed in the second half and was probably the second best defense on the field today.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's go to Ole Miss and Florida. One heck of a ball game. Florida leads 24-10 at halftime. But Ole Miss just made enough plays. I had a little bit of a train wreck of a drive there to Lane Kiffin could have kicked the field goal late in the game or gone for it. I think that was the right call, but the defense got to stop. Ole Miss punched in another touchdown late, and the Rebels I'm not going to say they punched their ticket yet, but they're getting awfully close. Got a bye week in the Mississippi State, and frankly, after the way Mississippi State has looked tonight, rivalry game in Starkville, you never know.
You never know.
I like Ole Miss's chances after what I saw tonight, and especially after the way Q1 Lacey just dominated that game.
I think we can talk about so many things, especially not knowing what the committee is going to look at. And we can try to argue our way into believing a fourth potential SEC team with 3 losses like a Texas, or even if Alabama stumbles in the palace of nightmares that is Jordan-Hare. You can try to talk strength of schedule. You can convince yourself into a path that a 3-loss SEC team could conceivably get in. There's no conceivable way. Even if Ole Miss wins in the Egg Bowl 3-2, there's no conceivable way a 1-loss SEC team is left out.
Yeah.
None. And
the question is, does State have enough left in the tank to pull that off?
I mean, I don't think so. I'm not putting anything past them because they've overachieved pretty much all year, especially at home, with the one exception of Georgia. And that clearly was as much about Georgia as anything Mississippi State did, seeing what Georgia over the last 3 or so weeks has been. But And I mean, in terms, it would do the committee a favor for Ole Miss to win, truthfully, because you can much defend just blindly putting a one-loss Ole Miss in, because I think Oklahoma may be better than Ole Miss, but Ole Miss beat them. And then if they both end up with 2 losses, what the hell are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, you got a maze of stuff right there. Gosh, what was the combo? I was thinking about this earlier. Pardon me, it's been a long day. Well, lost the thought. Doesn't really matter anyway. Point is, Ole Miss is going to the playoffs, barring something pretty crazy at this point. Kewan Lacey ran angry. Stribling made a huge play early in that game on just kind of a breakaway touchdown. And, Ole Miss, it got interesting there for a while. Florida made it interesting in a lot of ways. I think sometimes watching Florida too, like, goodness gracious, guys, make a tackle. Don't try to strip the ball all the time. But Ole Miss found a way in a game that Florida didn't really make it easy on them. Florida really came to play. You watched the way they tackled and hit. You could see Florida was up for this game.
Well, it honestly looked like Florida was their players were trying to impress potentially their next head coach, because they played a hell of a lot harder in Oxford than they did in Lexington.
By the way, I would like to know what was said at Lane Kiffin's press conference tonight. What were the questions? How did he handle them? We went to the air about, like I said, 17 minutes ago, I guess. So I'm thinking that probably is going as we're speaking. He has a habit sometimes of starting those a little bit late, I think. But if you guys are watching that press conference or there's anything dropped in terms of comments on that.
Trey just put in the chat that Kiffin
Okay.
avoiding the topic in his press conference, which is the only play. And that is the maturity of 50-year-old Kiffin as opposed to what 35-year-old Kiffin would have done.
Well, I late last night and this morning, the sentiment was he was probably going, but who knows? Guy could change his mind. Got a lot to play for in Oxford right now. And I've also heard it's the happiest he's ever been. I think he's been public about that. But Joseph said Florida had it won till the Lagway interception. Hey, credit Perkins with a huge play. Was going after Lagway, got a hand on it. That might have been the play of the game.
That actually is going to be I think whoever said that's going to be the title of the Florida 2025 season recap video. Florida was in a good place till that Lagway interception. I mean, man, referenced it loosely, but we referenced it loosely in the Manning-Stockton conversations of the offseason. Who in a million years had Trinidad Chambliss being 10 tiers better than DJ Lagway before the season kicked?
Yeah. It's been that kind of season. I'll get some other thoughts on that one in just a minute. Before we do, just a reminder, help out those who help us here at the show. That includes our friends at Yearly Company, a Nashville-based fine jewelry brand built on tradition and designed for meeting, each piece handcrafted from solid 14-karat gold and natural gemstones, made to measure for a perfect fit, backed by a lifetime guarantee. Hang on 2 seconds. There we go. There's our logo. Anyway, every Yearly Company bangle, custom size. Knowing your size is the most important first step before ordering. That's where the sizing kit comes in. Code SE16KIT takes 100% off the sizing kit at checkout. Also brought to you by ROKFORM, the world's strongest magnetic foam case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock secure mounting, SEC 25. Get you 25% off your entire order at rockform.com. Get the phone case and the vent clip, and thank me for that later. That's the combo I've got, and I love it. All right. Where were we, Jay?
We were kicking around everything from Lane Kiffin press conference to the complete upside down salad of preseason to current quarterback perceptions to Josh's astute point that
Josh might be right.
That Georgia's the only team in the SEC that I'd bet on to win a natty. And you know what? I really hope it's Georgia, Ohio State standing in the end, because I think those are the two best teams in America.
Yeah. I think you might be right. Indiana's got an argument too.
Indiana's got an argument, but I don't know how good Oregon is. Granted, they went there and won with game day and the nation watching. The rest of those feel like scrimmages.
I think Oregon's pretty good. Could be wrong. Indiana handled them in their backyard. So
Indiana won.
Won it fairly decisively. I mean, not like lopsided, but like, I don't know. That's been a while. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn. Didn't feel like a fluke, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Oregon got one at Iowa last week, which wasn't an easy place to play under the circumstance. So there was that too. Southern Cal next week will be a game. I think loser of that one probably goes home, especially if it's Southern Cal.
Yeah.
Trying to think other thoughts on Ole Miss and Florida. Trinidad Chambliss pretty good again tonight. 301. Did miss the throw on the goal line where had a receiver wide open and just threw it at his knees, which is kind of the issue with him. The accuracy can just really come and go on those intermediate throws. But pretty much held Florida's offense in check. 538 to 326 was the total offense. Again, felt like if all you're seeing is the final score, 34-24, this was a contested game within the final 2 to 3 minutes. So there was that. But Ole Miss, after leaving the door open for Florida on a couple of occasions with missed fourth down opportunities and stuff like that, delivered when it mattered. And Lacey had a lot to do with that, man. That guy was just amazing tonight.
Yeah, he was. And I will say among his myriad of strengths, Lane Kiffin really finds ways. He is a renowned quarterback whisperer. There's no doubt about that. And I've said that in reference many times of what he got out of Jonathan Crompton his 1 year in Knoxville. But Kiffin, not unlike his predecessor in terms of style and persona, Steve Spurrier, everybody thinks he's this high-flying go-to. Dude is completely content to run the ball down your throat. And when he knows he can, he forever will.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess Lacey, they didn't get much out of Chambliss on the ground tonight, but again, didn't need it. So let's talk Missouri and Mississippi State for a minute. That one kind of got lost in these other two games, but Missouri going to win this one pretty impressively. It's 49-10. 49-27 with about 3 minutes left. And sorry to watch. Have you seen Ahmad Hardy's line tonight?
No.
He may go over 300.
Well, that was the talking point that Brian and I had in bets and ball games. I really thought Mississippi State would show up with more motivation, and they played unbelievably hard. But that's the worst rushing defense in the league, and Ahmad Hardy, we know what he is.
Yeah,
and dare I say, he continues to run Hardy. See what I did?
He does.
Yeah.
He's got, if the box score is up to date, he's got 279 here. He's got a $186 in the second half, 14.3 per carry. So if this is right, he's 21 yards to 300. It looks like Eli Drinkwitz is going to give him a shot to do that.
Josh, that
Mississippi State seems to know.
Yes, and let him. I mean,
Sure.
Let him pound away, and that kid's carried the mail for you all year. Josh, that is, I mean, from your fingertips to God's ears, God's inbox, brother. As an Auburn graduate, one, you always want to win the Iron Bowl. Two, you want to talk about the ultimate. Think about how many things are in play for that. About Auburn and Alabama. Alabama, a third loss and Alabama's out. DJ Durkin would instantly springboard to the top of every job list by winning the Iron Bowl. I mean, how could he not? I mean, they played inspired against Vandy, even with a loss. This is the first time since Hugh Freeze was hired and since fired, I didn't feel like they lost the off week. And then you win that one. I mean, dear Lord.
Yeah. We were talking Missouri. We got to a super chat, so we'll get back to that. Someone was asking. Hey, somebody said in the chat, not sure who we have behind Hardy. Did something happen to Roberts? Because that's the guy you've got behind Hardy, last I checked.
Yeah. I mean, unless he got hurt, because the Mississippi State Florida game and
yeah, he's run 9 for 45 tonight. So yes.
The league needs to figure out a better staggered start time scenario.
Yeah.
Because if you've only got one nooner, then, and for most of us, one nooner is plenty, especially if you're married. But if then you put 3 games and they all have intrigue in the 7 o'clock window, because look, and I've said this multiple times, Murphy's Law exists for all of us. The things that can go wrong normally do go wrong. I do not know how college football's Murphy Law consistently hits. And that is no matter the start times, but you could be watching 3 games at the same time and somehow they all go to the commercial at the same time. Because you can click from one game and then go to another game and it is also on commercial. And I don't know how they figured that out, but it works out regardless of start times.
There's some truth to that. Let's see if Hardy gets 300. He's at 281. Oh, he may get it on this run. I believe he did. Holy smokes. Yeah, Ahmad Hardy goes over 300. When's the last time a back in the SEC went over 300 yards? Would that have been a Darren McFadden special maybe?
That was the first name that came to my mind was Darren McFadden. Did Trey Mason go for 3 bills against Missouri in the SEC title game?
I don't think he went for 3 bills, but I feel like he went for a lot.
Yes, Josh. I think the committee is going to put fraud-ass BYU in the playoffs.
Lot of stuff to happen between now and then. By the way, Just Jared, thank you for gifting a Southeastern 16 membership. Thank you, Josh, for the super chat earlier. We always really appreciate those. What did you just ask? I'm sorry.
If Trey Mason went for 300 yards in the SEC title game,
I don't think he did, but that was like a game for the ages. Yeah, Missouri kind of got lost in the shuffle today, but that was a super impressive performance by the Tigers. Hardy was pretty much all they needed tonight. A lot of frustration from Mississippi State fans over the quarterback situation. Blake Shapen wasn't good again tonight. Some griping about the play calling selection at times. Yeah, I still say Jeff Levy's done a terrific job, but I get it. Some of the game day management at times has not been great. And the graphic says, okay, Hardy credited for 300 even, 6th most in SEC history. And I wonder how many of those have been SEC on SEC. Because I'm guessing not a lot.
Probably not. I am trying to use this amazing thing called Google to.
You know, the place that's good for this stuff is College Football Reference. Although I don't know if they have single games or not. But anyway.
Ahmad Hardy has been just fantastic all year. I mean, and this is actually, I think, in a lot of ways, a testament to Coach Drink, because when you have your goals ripped from you on a Saturday and you come back and play and be emphatic the following Saturday, is a commitment to the program, big picture, as much as the process in front of you. And so bully for Drinkowitz, bully for Missouri. They handled their business in ways that I did not expect. I thought that game was going to be a lot closer. And McFadden went for 321 in 2007.
Was that the team? They had like 3 future NFL running backs. They had him, Felix Jones,
Peyton Hillis.
And Peyton Hillis. That could have been 05. Maybe they played both years, but that was an amazing backfield.
But McFadden went 321 against South Carolina in 2007. So
and you were right. You were right on Mason. He went for 304 against Missouri. I'd forgotten that in the title game. Did Mason play for just a minute in the league, didn't he?
Yeah, he played for the Rams for a hot minute.
Yep.
The thing that
would that overlap with Todd Gurley?
I think
he was maybe a little before him.
He was before Gurley. The thing that always blew my hair back about Trey Mason was he grew up and his dad was a member of the music group De La Soul. And,
no way.
Yeah. And so he would always tell stories about coming down for breakfast and like Snoop Dogg would be at the kitchen table. I mean, it's hard to fathom a childhood that you'd come down and make a bowl of Cheerios and Snoop Dogg sitting at your kitchen table.
Yeah. That is pretty wild. McFadden was better than Herschel. Had better numbers. Herschel was
no.
I'm with you on that one, Jay. I mean, he was great.
Hey, McFadden was tremendous, and you can make a hard argument. if you wanted to, I got a dog asleep in the next room named Bo Jackson. Don't come at Herschel, because Herschel.
Yeah.
Here's the stat that in 3 years, Herschel still has not lost an SEC game. Period. End of conversation.
Yeah. I think Herschel and Bo were the best two backs ever in the league. And it wasn't just like you had to watch those dudes play and the way they just took people's breath away. They dominated the games. There's never been anybody quite like them since, which is why, 40-something years later, people still call them by their first names.
Derek McFadden was great.
Yes.
I mean, and if we had to do a second team, because I agree with your first team, I can make a hard argument that McFadden is right there with anybody making that conversation. But, I mean, Bo and Herschel, man. I mean,
yeah. You knew what was coming and you could not stop it. Like neither team had I'm not going to say they couldn't pass the ball, but
Phil, I agree with you that
you knew where the bread was buttered.
Phil, I completely agree that I thought McFadden should have won the Heisman, but then I'll counter in the conversation on what the genesis of this. Herschel should have won too, because he won it as a junior, but he was better as a freshman when Georgia won it all.
I forgot. Tennessee had Jamal Lewis, Travis Henry, and Travis Stevens at the same time. I thought those guys might have been separated by maybe a year, a couple of them. But hey.
And there's a real chance that the entire Tennessee offense at one time or another could all start Travis Henry kids.
Let's not go there tonight, but
okay.
I gotta laugh. But also, yes. Let's see. I wanted to hit playoff stuff tonight, and I wanted to hit medal stand. Let's go medal stand first. This is what I got. You tell me if you disagree. I'm going gold Oklahoma. Might not have been the most dominant performance, but to beat Alabama in its building where they hadn't been beaten in a while and to keep your playoff hopes alive, that felt like the accomplishment of the day.
All right, you go your three. We're doing teams and then players, right?
Yeah, and this is tough. I'm going to go. Okay, I'll go Oklahoma, Georgia, and Ole Miss. Gold, silver, bronze.
All right, you're our resident
with an honorable mention to Missouri, which was pretty impressive tonight.
You're our resident big picture guy, and I respect that. Gold, I'm going Georgia because they flexed.
Yeah.
Silver, I will go Oklahoma because we haven't started the playoffs, as somebody put in the conversation that the playoffs started this week. The playoffs don't start till December. The play-ins started this week. And Oklahoma stayed alive in a must-have realm. And then bronze, I'm going to go Auburn because they didn't lose the bye week for the first time in the last 2.5 years. And this was unbelievably relaxing for every Auburn fan ever to watch the carnage and not find a way for your football team to rip your heart out. So that's my three. And then I will go first. So I'm not dragging on your coattails. If we're going players on the medal stand, Trey put it better than I did as far as play ins. It's also play outs as opposed to playoffs, because Alabama just walked directly to the cutoff line of play out. Players on the medal stand for me, I'm not going to get lost immediately in the stats and the eye-popping numbers of Ahmad Hardy. I'm going with Gunnar Stockton,
okay.
I'm going Gunnar Stockton as the gold medal. A guy who gets better every week, who is more trustworthy than maybe any SEC quarterback around. I'm then going to go Keywan Lacey, because it was in a game that mean more, in a league that touts the phrase "it just means more." And then I'll go Ahmad Hardy, because 3 bills are still 3 bills.
Yeah, I'm going Lacey with the gold. 31 for 224, 3 scores, 2 receptions for 5 yards. Gosh, it's hard not to give the gold to a guy that rushed for 303 scores on 25 carries. 12 a pop, I guess, would be for Hardy. And let me see if he caught a ball. I don't think he caught any passes in this one, just to make sure I'm not shortchanging the guy. Caught 1 ball for no yards. I'm sorry, it didn't have a catch. Had a target. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm torn between, like, how do you not give a guy that runs for 300 yards against another SEC team player of the week? Reality is Ole Miss had more at stake. Lacey made big plays for them in a close game when it mattered, and the run defense he was facing was better. So I'll go with you. I'll go Lacey 1, Hardy 2. I'm going to go a wild card here that you're not going to guess. And I'm going to do – I haven't done this all year. I'm going to give it to the Bowen brothers. Peyton and Eli, 10 combined tackles, a pass defended, and won an 87-yard pick six for Oklahoma today. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure I left out some other good players. I know I did. Marcel Reed would be a guy worth talking about. I mean, he almost lost them the game, but then he kind of helped win them the game in amazing fashion late. I think on balance, he doesn't deserve to be up there with the other guys because of what he did to put his team in a hole, but that's where I'm going to go.
Well, I got no beef. Although I was this many days old, those brothers are named Peyton and Eli.
Yeah, I didn't think of that till now, but yes.
Wow. I mean, okay. God bless.
Yeah.
I'm certain Archie and Olivia Bowen are really proud of their kids. I mean,
could be a confusing night in the SEC in some homes. And spelled the same way too, Peyton.
Were they born in Tennessee? Because there's an abnormal number of kids in Tennessee named Peyton.
I don't think so. Let me look that up.
Guys and girls.
Corinth, Texas.
All righty. As we go into our conversation about you said you wanted to talk about playoffs. Trey is saying that Vandy is currently fighting both the Catholics and the Mormons.
That's great.
It is great.
They may not be fighting the Catholics after today. I think the Catholics might have.
Yeah, the Catholics
locked it up. Hey, look, if you're Vanderbilt, that is brutal. If you get left out at 10-2, which feels like probably the direction it's headed. But I mean, there's a lot of ball to be played today. I mean, here on out, I wouldn't. I think we overestimate our ability to figure this out. Where it's headed.
It's a fool's errand. It feels like playing into the Sunday school narrative of man makes plans and then God laughs.
Right.
College football has reactions, or pundits have reactions, and then college football gives you chaos. So, I mean, we can only react to what we see before us. And 11-1 BYU then becomes unbelievably, the Big 12 title game is arguably the most interesting title game out there, because it looks like a dunk that it's going to be Indiana, Ohio State, and they may start second stringers, because not only are both getting in, they both may get buys depending on the outcome of that game. Both the teams that get to Atlanta are in. So the conference championship games are about to be not only borderline meaningless, but also uninteresting. But if 11-1 BYU gets in, everybody in the country is going to be paying attention to it.
Yes, for sure. Let's see. I'm trying to just do a final sweep of the scoreboard before I get into playoff where I think the teams are going to rank. Let me look up one thing.
While he's looking that up, Josh, the ACC, to Josh's point, the ACC title game, I feel like they need to reincarnate Jefferson Pilot and broadcast that game at noon on a Saturday, and have the old school graphics come across the bottom that are like 30 minutes late. And because that, I mean, it very well could be Virginia, Georgia Tech. Hell, I don't know what the tiebreak process is. It damn well be like Wake Forest and who God knows who. I mean, this is, I mean, the ACC is a one-bid league. We're all in agreement with that, right?
I don't know. Here's what I need to find out. Who can still make the ACC title game? If I can figure that out, then I might have a better answer.
Alex, the LPGA Senior Tour is not in existence, but if they did put like Laura Daly or Laura, who's the big heavy woman? Laura Davies. I called her Daly just because. Well, I didn't mean to say heavy.
We know why.
She's not heavy. She's my sister. But like if Annika Sorenstam and Laura Davies and a couple other former LPGA players, yeah, I mean it's a ratings coin flip, and they could have like cornhole on ESPN, the Ocho, going up against it, and I mean your dodgeball championship with. Now that's a movie I can quote too, because if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. So, I mean, it's dodge, dip, dive, duck, and dodge, or the 5 Ds of dodgeball. So, no, Phil, not a John Daly insult. Love John Daly. Patterned my golf game after him. Hit it as far as you can and go find it, man.
Okay. Playoff. Here's where I'm guessing it's going to be after tonight. I think Ohio State stays at 1, Indiana stays at 2, probably A&M still at 3, and Georgia at 4. My guess is Ole Miss moves up to 5. Then maybe Oregon at 6, Notre Dame at 7, Alabama at 8, potentially. That'll be interesting.
I don't know how. If you've got to vote, do you vote? How do you vote? Alabama ahead of Oklahoma?
Well,
they have the same number of losses.
Yeah, fair.
On the road.
Okay, where do you situate those teams in relation to Notre Dame? Is the question too. See, because Alabama was 4 last week, Notre Dame was 10, and Oklahoma was 11. So maybe you go, and we got Texas Tech in there too.
Notre Dame's 2 losses are better, especially after Georgia just housed Texas. Notre Dame's 2 losses.
But Alabama's wins are better.
Huh?
But Alabama's wins are better. Alabama, I know that, look, I get it. We live in the moment. That's college football. Let's not forget Alabama has beaten Georgia in its house, beat Vanderbilt in Tuscaloosa, won at Missouri, beat Tennessee in Knoxville.
No.
Tuscaloosa, excuse me, you're right. Yeah. Won at South Carolina, which, that's not one you're going to brag about. This was better. Beat LSU, lost Oklahoma. That's still a lot of good wins. That's still a whole lot of good wins. Gosh, let me start from the top again. Ohio State won, Indiana 2.
Texas A&M 3.
A&M 3.
Georgia 4.
Yeah, and just point of fact, you're putting Georgia Georgia's 1 loss, so forget that. Okay.
And a loss that happened in September. And we're now, instead of being 2 weeks from Labor Day, we're 2 weeks from Thanksgiving. So I understand we are prisoners of the moment, but who you are now matters more than who you were then.
Okay. Oregon was ahead of Ole Miss. Beat Minnesota pretty handily. I'm going to guess stays there.
So that means Ole Miss 6.
Oregon at 5, Ole Miss 6. Then I'm going
Notre Dame 7.
Notre Dame 7.
Oklahoma 8, Alabama 9.
Yep. I think that's the way it'll go. Well, what do you do with Texas Tech, which was ahead of Oklahoma a week ago?
Put Texas Tech ahead of Notre Dame, and then move everybody else back because Texas Tech still.
Oh, that's right. Texas Tech was ahead of Notre Dame last week, so that's fair.
And Tech was ahead of Ole Miss last week. So.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, wait a minute. No, they were. Oh no, I'm looking at the AP. You're correct. You're correct.
Yes.
So I guess Tech does stay ahead of Ole Miss at 6. Ole Miss would be 7.
And Texas Tech maybe 5 ahead of Oregon.
So Alabama at 10, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay, so then you've got what left? You've got to get you got to get 2 conference champs in. You don't have an ACC, and you don't have a group of 5.
No.
So James Madison is going to be your 12 at this point, right?
Yes.
And
even though they played like a bag of ass and barely escaped Boston College, a 1-win Boston College, I could see Georgia Tech. Miami may be the highest ranked ACC team, but Georgia Tech is the best hope for an ACC champion to be among the top 15 or so ranked teams.
God, you've got probably at this point, okay, I had the ACC pulled up. This, according to CBS Sports, Georgia Tech reaches the ACC championship game if it beats Pitt. That's all it has to do. Virginia gets the game if it beats Virginia Tech, if SMU loses to Louisville or Cal and Pitt loses to Georgia Tech or Miami. Now here's the one that you're rooting for, okay? If you're everybody else, because Miami could get in as an at-large. Miami's got to beat Virginia Tech and Pitt. I think both will happen. Virginia beats Virginia Tech. That seems like it's going to happen. Okay, then it gets complicated. Pitt's got to beat Georgia Tech. Could happen. Duke beats North Carolina. Could happen. SMU beats Louisville. And then Cal beats SMU and Wake Forest beats Duke. That's a lot that's got to happen. So I think you're looking at Miami and Virginia. Well, Virginia, except if Pitt beats Georgia Tech and Miami, then it goes. Oh, wait, other stuff's got to happen there. I mean, this makes you dizzy. But basically, Georgia Tech and Virginia have got the inside track. I don't think, honestly, either deserves to be in the playoff. But with what happened today, I mean, and that bid was either going to go to the ACC champ or an at-large. I think with South Florida losing today, whoever your ACC champ is, it looks like you're getting a bid that's going to go to either Georgia Tech or Virginia, which I think sucks. But yeah, so there you go. Boy, your path to the playoff is tough outside that. I'm thinking next teams you're looking at
BYU.
Well, you know what? Yeah, BYU is behind all those teams and is winning pretty handily over a decent TCU team. Gosh, we didn't have – well, yeah, we did. We had Texas Tech as the Big 12 champ. So you got BYU and Utah sitting there with a chance. USC's got a chance. If it beats Oregon, could knock Oregon out. But if Oregon wins, then USC's not making it. Miami as a 2-loss wild card is a possibility. Michigan's a possibility if it beats
Ohio
State, and then you've got Vandy sitting there potentially 10-2 with the shot. But you're fighting two Big 12 teams. I mean, I say that.
I'll be really interested to see where Texas falls to.
Yeah.
Because
is Texas ahead or behind Vanderbilt? That's the question.
Which is a fair one. It's a 3-point game in Austin, and one team has 3 losses and one team has 2.
Yeah. I do wonder for 25-point road loss, combined with some of those other unimpressive wins. I mean, Texas just wasn't very good on the road.
No.
I think Vanderbilt leaps them. But
I do too.
But the problem is going to be, gosh, it's going to be teams that could drop out at this point. Ohio State's not dropping out. A&M's not dropping out. Indiana's not dropping out.
Let's be honest. Georgia's not dropping out.
Georgia's not dropping out. Oregon might, but if it does, it probably concedes a spot to Southern Cal because that's the most likely scenario. Southern Cal would have 2 losses, one being to Notre Dame. But you know what? Here's what you're rooting for. You're rooting for Southern Cal to beat Oregon, and then Washington knock off Southern Cal the next week. I mean, that could happen.
It also, in the grand scheme of expanding the opportunity for chaos, you have truly put the conference championship game as a detriment. Because if you're Oregon, even if you lose to Southern Cal with 2 losses, you're glad you're not going to be a 3-loss team.
Yeah.
Like, the only path for Georgia not to be in is for Tech to nut up, pull the upset in Atlanta, and then A&M blow your doors off in Atlanta the following week in the SEC championship game.
Yeah. Okay. I misspoke. Oregon's going to play Southern Cal. That's in Oregon. I mean, I think here's one. Oh, then Oregon's got to go to Washington. So maybe Oregon beats Southern Cal, knocks Southern Cal out, and then loses to Washington on the road, but it's still a 2-loss Oregon team.
Yep.
Which is beating, Iowa on the road.
And one of those losses is to number 2 Indiana.
Yeah. Beat Penn State on the road when it meant something for whatever that's worth. Who knows?
Yep.
See, I mean, a 2-loss Oregon could be questionable.
Is Ole Miss a dunk, even with a loss in the Egg Bowl?
See, I don't think 10-2 Ole Miss is a guarantee.
The chaos around today helped them.
I think so.
Because 10-2 Ole Miss, man, oh man, what a conversation point between a 10-2 Ole Miss and a 10-2 Vandy and a 9-3 Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, I keep looking at this to make sure I'm not missing something here. Yeah, I think rankings going into or as of after Tuesday night are going to be Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Texas A&M 3, Georgia 4. I don't think any of those teams are going to get bumped. Yeah, I mean, even if A&M made the title game and lost one and lost to Texas, that's still just 2 losses. I don't think Georgia's losing to Georgia Tech. I don't think Tech's defense can stop anything. Oregon at 5. Again, there's a path to Oregon getting knocked out, but you're going to have to hope the committee favors some other 2-loss teams from the SEC. Texas Tech 6, Ole Miss 7, Notre Dame 8, Oklahoma 9, Alabama 10 feels like the way it's going to be. So, Oklahoma, the way Missouri played tonight, I know that's in Norman, but that's not a guarantee. Missouri could win that game. LSU, the finale, that's in Norman. We'll see how interested LSU is. So it's not a slam dunk for the Sooners. But the problem is, even if you knock a couple of those out, you've got either Utah, BYU, and you've got the possibility of Miami and maybe a 3-loss Texas. And again, under a wild scenario, Michigan beating Ohio State. But again, you've got Georgia Tech and James Madison are going to get 2 of those spots too. So I think your best hope if you're a borderline playoff team, Auburn beats Alabama. I think that shuts Alabama out. Mississippi State beating Ole Miss, don't like their chances. And maybe Missouri beating Oklahoma. But again, that one's in Norman. I mean, it got really tough for the teams that are kind of on the outside looking in today.
The Josh has a super chat with saying that he thinks 9 bids are already locked up, and it's hard to argue with his list. Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, Ole Miss, A&M, Texas Tech, Notre Dame, the G5, and ACC. So the rest of America is playing for 3 bids. And he later comes back with an unbelievably good question. If we're talking about brands and conversations, what does the committee do with a 10-2 USC and a 10-2 Alabama? Both from power conferences. I think Alabama gets the edge because
Alabama gets in because it's beat better teams.
It's just because it's in a better league. I mean, some of those wins you rattled off, man. At the time, they were good wins, but we don't know how good of a win it's going to be in retrospect in the eyes of the committee. Look,
okay, well, let me stop you right there. Let me just give you USC's wins: Missouri State, Georgia Southern, Purdue, Michigan State, Illinois, Michigan.
Illinois was ranked.
Yeah, well, Alabama beat about 4 teams that were ranked,
but they're no longer ranked. Some of
doesn't
them
matter. Nebraska. Come on, Jay Greeson. You mean to tell me?
No, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think Alabama's better than USC. I think the Big Ten
it's not going to be close. If they get down to comparing 2 lost teams and their wins, Alabama has beaten Georgia in Athens, Vanderbilt in Tuscaloosa, Missouri in Columbia, Tennessee in Tuscaloosa, LSU in Tuscaloosa. No, it's no contest when you start.
Yeah, but LSU. I mean, if you're going to mock me for saying Illinois was ranked at the time, the LSU win carries no weight right now.
I can't believe you're making this argument.
No, I'm having the discussion and trying to bring up. If you and I agreed on everything, this would be I'd be snoring like my dog in my lap. Look,
okay,
I do have a dog in my lap.
Just to put a bow on it, I'll give you all the wins. Whose would you take? Team A, ULM, Wisconsin.
Alabama gets the feather because they won in Athens. I mean,
and then some.
But what I'm saying is the conversation of, and maybe it is the beauty pageant of a 10-2 USC against a 10-2 Vandy.
Maybe. And if USC gets there at 10-2,
and to Salty's point, if USC gets to 10-2, that's a win over Oregon too.
Right. On the road, plus Iowa, which was in Southern Cal, at Nebraska for whatever that's worth. It's a nice win. Lost to Notre Dame. That was a 10-point loss. Beat Michigan. Yeah, they're getting in over Vanderbilt.
That Josh just threw into the super chat of they'd put a fourth. Would they put a 4th Big Ten team in or a 5th SEC team in?
I think Southern Cal gets in that scenario if it beats Oregon.
So
I mean, because I just named you some nice wins.
You called me stupid a minute ago, and now I've convinced you.
No, we were talking who had better wins, Southern Cal or Alabama.
But now, who do you think gets in? Southern Cal with a recent win in Oregon, or Alabama?
See, you switch lanes on me a little bit there, my man.
Well,
too late to switch lanes on your friends, Jay Greeson. Come on.
No, I don't switch lanes. One of the things I do really well is stay in my lane. I stay in the fat guy lane. We walk. We don't run. We walk.
All right. I forgot the question already.
All right. And now, see, David Odom asked, who wins on a neutral field? I pray the committee asks that, because then the SEC would get 6 teams in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something crazy is going to happen because it always does. The one that would piss me off if I'm everybody else is the ACC.
Trey didn't know I was a Pac-12 shill. Well, but now I can't even be a Pac-12 shill anymore because the Pac-12's gone away.
Not entirely. Don't think they still have a?
Well,
they can have a conference next year.
I think Oregon State deserves a bid. Oregon State is you're sleeping on Oregon State, Chris. You and your stupid analytics.
Hang on a minute. I swear, aren't they reforming the Pac-12 for basketball?
Who gives a damn? I mean,
like I'm only asking because this, like, I read something about this week.
Quit reading. It only hurts your head. Says the newspaper columnist who needs you people to read my column.
Now I'm losing my mind because I swear I read about like some teams, like several teams joining the Big 12 this week.
Yeah, like UNC, UC
The
Riverside.
Pac-12, excuse me. No, like it was actually a little better than that, I think.
Well, I hope it's a little better than UC Riverside.
I mean, I haven't exactly
Is it
set
the
the
Santa
bar high
Barbara
here,
Banana Slugs? I mean,
hey, the Pac-12 signed a TV deal with USA Sports through 2031. So it is planning on having some kind of a league.
until YouTube holds them hostage and says, everybody get the bleep out.
Some of the games will be carried on the CW.
Alex, I'll play on your YMCA team. I'll score 25 a game. I can't guard a folding chair, but by God, I can still shoot it like nobody's business. You and I, we'll finish third in the Pac-12.
Now I'm going crazy because I swear I read this, but I can't.
You've been crazy a while, Chris.
Well, that's true.
A long time.
Buddy, it's 11:06.
You're not going crazy. You're just the next step into crazy.
Well, anyway, if anybody finds that, let me know. Yes, thank you. Okay, Josh got it.
Yeah, Josh is like the smartest guy.
Gonzaga, buddy.
I mean,
the Zags.
Like a third picture of Josh. I mean, but he couldn't afford the pay cut. Josh is doing too well in life to be messing around doing this thing at damn 12:06 Eastern.
See, the issue is I should have just read the chat a couple of minutes ago. That would have saved me the headache.
Well, I actually had a fortune cookie at Formosa here in Chattanooga just the other day that said that. Damn, I should have read the chat. So,
all right, I think we've run out of steam here.
Oh, I'm just getting fired up. Hey, well, you were wrong, dude. You were wrong. All right, you and your math. I was told there would be no math. To quote the perennially underrated Spies Like Us, and Elbert.
Oh, the great movie.
Yes, I was told there'd be no math. All right, Salty Soda is saying I'm now sleep drunk, which is way better than the folks who think I just was drunk.
We also get Boise, Fresno, and Colorado State. Hey, Colorado, I'm repping the Rams tonight. My niece played basketball there. You try to think of something snarky to say, and it's just not coming to you.
Well, I can't be snarky about your niece, but I can be snarky about. No wonder you're well adept in the comings and goings of the Big Damn 12.
I had. Yeah, I mean, I've got. Hey, my niece. She can say I'm the Pac. Wyoming needs to join the Pac-12.
Oh God, then we need to get the Pac-12 the hell out of these conversations. And I think there's a big picture conversation about it's time for the Super 60. Just let the Super 60 decide college football, and everybody else go play FCS. And because this is nauseating. And
yeah, I mean, the one thing I was getting to before we got off track, the ACC getting a bid is going to really screw somebody.
It's going to screw somebody, and then we're going to look and go, and then we're going to have to explain why James Madison deserved a spot, and they're going to go to Oxford and lose 63-7.
Yeah. The other thing, it does make me wonder now if Miami doesn't get in as an at-large, because if the Big 12, if the ACC is going to get either Georgia Tech or Virginia in, or whoever that is, because Miami's path to get there it's not impossible, but it's pretty darn close. The optics of the ACC getting two teams
is terrible.
Not gonna be good. I mean, that may doom Miami right there.
Well, and then you go a step further, and now look, we made a whole lot of fun about it, but it now makes sense for Greg Sankey and the Big Ten commissioner, whose name just flew out of my head, arguing for 4 guaranteed spots moving forward, because I believe in my soul there are 4 SEC teams better than any 2. And you could blindly pick from the top half of the league that are better than any 2 ACC teams. And look, everybody talks about, well, what about the craziness? And yes, this season has been crazy and it has been fun. But we love college football. We're going to find reasons to make it fun anyway. And then they point to, well, what about the magic of March Madness? But I want to remind people that the Power 60 holds all the cards because the beauty of David versus Goliath is the story of David. I get that. But you don't have that story without Goliath. Because if you have David on David, then you've got the Southern Conference basketball final. I mean, then it's like UNC, it's like UTC and Wofford. I mean, then David on David, nobody gives a damn. David against Goliath, yes. We want to see he reached his hand inside the bag and pulled out a stone and flung it, and it struck the Philistine in the head, and he fell to the ground. Yes, I'm quoting Hoosiers because by God, I can quote that one front to back too. So, and look, we get this deep late in the season. There's a tournament tradition that you don't speak about the next step. Again, think about him as Denting. And when you come back, I want to know what flavor he was. I got them all. But if we are going to determine, do we want to determine a meritocracy or do we want to determine a champion? Because college basketball eventually neutered its regular season. Have you even really watched college basketball other than what you have to do for work until New Year's? Other than your favorite team until New Year's, because you know it doesn't matter until it gets to the tournament. Don't let college football do that to itself. Don't.
Well, and look, if we're determining a champion, I mean, we are. I don't know. The fringes of the discussion are pretty good, but I don't know. I don't like guarantees. What I don't like when the SEC and the Big Ten pulled this, we want X amount of guaranteed spots. I don't like that, which is why I don't really like it for the conference champions either. I mean, maybe give it to your 2 or 3 highest conference champions, and everybody else can buzz off. Because I don't like what it's doing to the bracket this year.
Trey says, and I can assure you this: anybody who reads my column knows I am far from anything close to a liberal. But this made me laugh. Trey says 5 automatic qualifiers is woke DEI, which does make me giggle. And now, if a team has a transgender athlete in it, then who knows what's going to happen. And yes, we're getting into the late night hour, because if we're going to start crossing political and sportical, then God knows what's going to happen. And you guys are going to even hate me even more. So,
yeah. I think we both need sleep anyway.
Hey, if you've got if Blake's in your earbud right now, he's going, cut Jay off. We're getting into dangerous situation. Go ahead and just bag this right now.
64 team playoff like basketball, 10-game football schedule. I mean, that could get a little interesting.
Yeah.
This would be 6 games. So, yeah, 16.
Oreo, it completely disagrees with you.
Yeah, well, Oreo's going to wake my family if I don't get out of here and shut him up, which is what I'd better do. So for that reason, we're getting the show. But thank you guys for watching. We'll be back with Power Rankings on Monday and our usual assortment of football content. God bless you guys. Have a great night. For Jay Greeson, I'm Chris Lee. You've been watching Southeastern 16 presented by FanDuel.